Good morning, everyone. Well, I'm honored to be able to give a quick update about the Protocol Summit, which was 2 days ago. And I first just want to thank, of course, the entire group that was there. It was definitely a group effort. I was simply one of the facilitators. And I also want to recognize my other co-facilitators, Camille Callison from the University of Manitoba and Jonathan Pringle from Northern Arizona University. I couldn't have accomplished putting all of this together without them, so thank you so much. Again, as was mentioned, this gathering was put together to look at and focus mainly on the protocols for Native American archival materials that was originally created in 2006. And since the development of this document, it's generated significant discussion and debate both nationally and internationally surrounding the proper care of Indigenous archives housed at non-tribal repositories and how these guidelines should be successfully implemented. And one of the reasons these protocols were initially developed was, of course, because so many archivists, historians, we recognize that there were not official legal mandates to provide guidance and protection of these collections. Nothing existed akin to NAGPRA for archival materials, so something was significantly needed to assist with the guidance on these collections. Numerous non-tribal repositories have successfully implemented and developed collaborative guidelines and relationships with tribal communities since the implementation of the protocols. Based on the original intent of the document, it was seen as a living document that the document could evolve and possibly be updated. So this summit brought together some of the original drafters of the protocols, as well as key allies from the U.S. and Canada to review and reflect on lessons learned and to have discussions and specifically on certain sections of the document and determine possible next steps and to clarify any updates to the document based on case studies, recent research, conversations, and recent legal mandates. A larger overall goal of the gathering was to utilize this momentum as a call to action regarding human rights through the framework of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, with this larger goal of contributing to the efforts of decolonizing Indigenous archives. The results of the gathering will be officially reported on in some way, of course, here today, but then also there's a session later this morning where we'll be talking about specific collaborative relationships between tribal and non-tribal repositories and some specific case studies, so I'll also be talking a little bit there. But I just wanted to highlight a few of the outcomes of the discussions and gatherings and where we might be headed. So we had some great discussions in 3 breakout sessions. One general overall discussion about larger issues about building relationships of mutual respect. Another about accessibility and use, cultural sensitivity, and providing context. And a final group about intellectual property, research protocols, and the copying and repatriation of records. So from this, the main things that were brought out of our discussions was that there is a need to make updates to or make significant resources available on these different sections. And based on this, we are proposing to move forward with either specific case studies or to create a practical implementation guide for many of these different sections, particularly since it's been 10 years since the development of these protocols. And so much has happened and so much has occurred that we really want to reflect on both, of course, the successes of implementing the protocols, but also what are some things that haven't been successful to also have lessons learned from both sides. So this really opened up the dialogue, and we also want to be able to infuse into whatever document or guide that we come up with more inclusion language to ensure that we have representation for international Indigenous North America for all of our Indigenous people. So although the original document was mainly focused on Native Americans here in the U.S. We also want to bring in and realize that we have a lot of overlap with what is happening in Canada with the Aboriginal people there, and include that language as well. So again, we seek to make these updates to see how we can improve on the work that's already been done and to have these conversations continue. And we also met at the end of the day with the Museum Summit Group, which was wonderful to be able to see some of the overlap there, but also some of the differences. And of course, one of the major overlapping issues is we are each trying to improve the collaborations that occur between the different museums, archives, both tribal and non-tribal. So we're hoping that we can also learn from each of these groups as we come together. So I look forward to continuing the work with those that were involved and also the others that may become involved and continue that work. So thank you so much.